Welcome back to the Kaiba Show, and finally, our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is back. That's right, people. Spider-Man Far From Home is finally here in the theaters, so let's get it.
Welcome to the Kaiba
All right, people. So, Spider-Man Far From Home is starring Tom Holland, Zendaya, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Sam Jackson, and is directed by John Watts. And basically, the premise of this movie is following the aftermath of Avengers Endgame, we find ourselves with Peter Parker and his classmates going on a class trip to Europe where all hell breaks loose, and it's up to Peter Parker to step up to the mantle of becoming the next Tony Stark to take on that threat. So let's get straight into it, people. Spider-Man Far From Home was a good, solid follow-up to Avengers Endgame. This movie was very enjoyable, and the things that I did like about this movie was once Jake Gyllenhaal really gets into his character of Mysterio, things really pick up, and the Mysterio elements that they did in this movie was very good. I was a pleased comic book fan with some of the stuff that they did with his character. The acting was pretty good. Obviously, you can't really complain too much with the Spider-Man action scenes. You know, with the web slinging, web crawling, jumping from here, drop kicking from there. The action sequences, the cinematography with the action sequences. You know, the way the camera's rolling around with some of the fight sequences was very good. The storyline was pretty decent. Definitely wasn't the best storyline that we've gotten from Marvel with the past couple of movies, but it was pretty up there. It was a cool storyline. Could have tweaked it just a little bit better in my liking, but for the most part, Spider-Man Far From Home was a good movie. The elements that I didn't like was some of the one-liners, you know, the jokes. They didn't really land too well. I like Ned's character a little bit better in the first movie. The direction that they took his character in this movie, it was okay. It just wasn't the Ned I was used to with the first movie with his jokes. Even Flash Thompson, it was just missing some elements with that. And another thing that I guess I could nitpick with this movie is the movie picked up in the second half. The first half of the movie didn't have the same energy that the second half had. If the first half would have been like the second half throughout the entire movie, this would have been like a phenomenal movie, like mind blowing. The second half, I think you guys are really going to enjoy. The movie overall is a good movie, but there was just something missing with the first half of the movie. You know, it started off slow, and obviously we got to have the story developing, and I get that. But the second half was a roller coaster ride, people. Like you're really gonna enjoy the second half of the movie, the middle to the end. So the beginning to the middle was kind of slow. Definitely not a slow burn because they had, you know, a couple of action sequences obviously in the beginning, but it was just missing something. So then when they finally did their little 180 and the movie goes in a different direction, that's when the movie picked up for me. So I feel like those two elements is probably like, for me, is what didn't work for the movie. Was basically the jokes wasn't landing. I think they were trying too hard with this movie, and the first half of the movie should have matched the same energy that they was giving us in the second half of the movie throughout the entire movie. And that's just basically the way the story went. So, you know, I'm not trying to nitpick too much, but that was what kind of bothered me with the movie. So, with that being said, overall, people, on the Kaiba scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give this movie, I think I'm going to give this movie a solid 8. As of right now, I think Homecoming has like a slight edge over Far From Home. But Far From Home, first off, is a solid sequel to Spider-Man, and it's still a solid sequel to Avengers Endgame. So I don't want you guys to get it twisted. This is a good movie. But if I'm going to compare it to the first movie probably, as of right now, I probably got to watch Far From Home a second time because, you know, when you watch it a second time, you pick up stuff that you didn't, pick up the first time. But as of right now, I'm gonna give the movie a solid 8. It's a good movie. It's definitely worth seeing. In the theater, definitely worth seeing at IMAX. Um, Maybe the second time I might have a change of opinion, might give it a higher number. But as of right now, it's a solid movie. Definitely go see it. Kyber scale 1 to 10, it's an 8. Definitely gonna buy it when it comes out on Blu-ray. And it was a solid follow up to Avengers Endgame. I really enjoyed myself. It's a good movie for the family to go see with the kids. And yeah, definitely buy it on Blu-ray. So if you like what you see and you want to see more, please hit the subscribe button. After doing that, hit the bell button so you get notified every time I upload a video. And hit the like button, leave a comment at the bottom.